Hello and what's up everyone, Thunderbob here, and I am checking out some more Diablo 2 Resurrected. This is the alpha. I'm loading up some old Diablo 2 classic save files just to test out some characters in the new environment. I'm taking requests if you want to see anything particular, and I'm also running through some different builds that I've been wanting to try out. Back in the day, in original Diablo 2, I had a Trap Assassin, and was lightning trap like most people, but I've been wanting to test out a fire trap assassin for quite a while, and I made one kind of my own. It's pretty cool. There's some different choices you have, but this primarily revolves around Wake of Fire. You're going to use this most of the time, and I realize it shows a small sheet damage, but the rate of fire and the number of them you have up and the fact that it hits everything on the screen makes it really good for multiple targets, like for running cows. So you basically max the entire fire lane here. Mostly you're going to use Wake of Fire. This is okay for single target. It's got some issues I found. I don't really like using it much. Most of the time I'm running Wake of Fire. I also maxed out Death Sentry, so I could use that as a secondary, and also so I have some lightning damage. Since it only has 2 synergies and you're already maxing Fire Blast, it actually scaled pretty decently, and then I put the remaining points I had into Lightning Sentry. I didn't quite max it, but I put everything I had left in there. I went down so I could have Dragonflight to teleport around, put a point in Fade and Burst of Speed. 1 point in Burst of Speed with this many plus skill points lets me hit my last breakpoint for traps, so you should be casting pretty quickly. Mind Blast in case you need to stun anything. I got my Shadow Master. But yeah, that's basically the build. I took my Lightning Trap Assassin and modified it a bit. There's a few things I had to compromise on, but overall, pretty good gear put together here. Yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. Just enough strength for items, the rest in vitality. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can do Andariel in player 1, and if we're lucky, I'll be able to find Duriel and do player 8 as well. Just make sure we got all the buffs up. There are a lot of fire immunes in this area, but the non-fire immunes pretty much just get ripped to shreds. It's pretty nice. I'll show you a lot of fire immunes, but Conviction actually works pretty well, breaking these. Ooh. Breaking these immunities. I did this once, so I kind of already know where to go. If you do run into any fire immunes that you can't deal with through Conviction, you do have that Death Sentry to help. But man, this really destroys in player 1 difficulty. Then you got your occasional fire immunes, and bam. And here. See, these guys have fire and are kind of hard to break, so it might be worth dropping Death Sentries when you run into them. Sometimes you want to just drop 1 Death Sentry just so you have the corpse explosion, but look how quickly that ripped through her. Awesome. So we're going to go on to Act 2 and see if we can do Duriel. Now we're going to see is how it does in player 5. Excuse me, player 8. Make it tight. Fire immunes up the wazoo. But, the Merc is definitely helping. The fire effects, especially in the alpha, I think really were one of the biggest hits to your FPS. It's doing reasonably well when I'm not dealing with the fire immunes. It's really, it shines when you have like a ton of enemies on the screen. Getting some weird graphical glitches around the edges. I've never seen that. Come on. They only fire 5 times, unlike the lightning traps, so you end up having to cast these quite a bit more often than the lightning traps. Actually, it's kind of throwing me off because I'm so used to my lightning trapper that I think I'm having moments where I don't have my traps up. These guys, they make up really high fire resistance. Watch this. Yeah. Just swap into that when you run into them helps quite a bit. That is cool. There is a variation of this build I was thinking about trying out that uses kick. And it seemed like a fun build. I didn't end up going with it, but I might try that later, a kick variation of this. See, these things, they have much higher single target damage, but they don't target very well, I found, and there's like a bug where they don't like immediately start attacking as well. Kind of just some weird... Seems like most people who run with a fire trapper tend to use Wake of Fire. Gotta kill the Unravelers. I can actually kill Duriel. I had a request to show off Duriel more often, so got lucky here. Getting some runes today. Not very high level or anything, but it's cool. Let's just rebuff. Maybe we should call in Shadow Master. And let's go. You know, for him, he's probably gonna do better against this because it's single target. These do shoot 10 times as well, which is nice. And I'm just gonna sit back. This is where you could, in theory, go with kick, so you have something you can do. But you need a very different gear setup. All of the setups I saw forgo traps to a large extent, so you end up with, like, instead of plus, 25 to traps, you would have, like, plus 15 or something, where the predominant damage is coming then from kick and not from trap, where I wanted to make more of a pure fire trapper. I may try that hybrid later, but overall, it's fairly effective. Even in player 8, I just killed Duriel without too much difficulty. Is it the most optimal? No, probably not. To be honest, you're probably better off with a lightning trapper. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, or if you're looking for something particularly good at cows, this might be a build for you. I know lightning trap's also pretty good at cows, but my understanding is Wake of Fire kind of wrecks cows pretty well, just because of how big it is and how much it hits at one time. So if you're looking for a slightly out of the ordinary trap assassin, a fire trapper might be up your alley. If you like this video, check out some of my other content. I do a bunch of Diablo 2 videos, and if you like what you're seeing, think about subscribing. I would very much appreciate it. Thank you again for watching. Have a great night.